Welcome to part 5 of the AmaiHito Endorphin Gymnastics Tumbling Training Camp. We now have a nice high backflip, and we are going to try to turn this into a twist. And to do this, I'm going to use the standing up pose that I made in the last video. And all I'm going to do is drop one arm down, because in order to twist in real life, what you need to do is make one side of your body shorter than the other. You can do this in a number of ways. The most exaggerated way to do it is to just have one arm down. And as you can see, I use the center line as a guide, and I bring the heels together, and then I just point the toes. And having the toes pointed and together, and having the heels together especially, helps the character twist a lot faster than if the feet were apart. Now, as you can see, because the character's body is locked, it can't twist. Also, you'll notice that the character didn't flip all the way over. I'm going to remedy the twisting first. What I'm going to do is shorten the active pose, copy paste it, and then I'm going to change it from lock to lock position. And as you can see, now the character twists. I also start the lock position constraint just before the jump happens. The most important thing to keep in mind when you want your character to twist is you want the character's body to be straight. Also, if you want to have the strength of the poses very, very high, I tend to use very high pose strength. You may want to deselect the tips of the finger in the active pose, and this keeps the fingertips from flipping around. And if you remember from the last video, one of the things that we need to avoid that oftentimes happens when you use higher jumping strength is that the feet will slide against the ground and the character won't flip over as much. And I remedied this by just moving the last poses back a little bit, so that way the character can come a little bit more upright and its feet can be flat against the ground, and then push without sliding backwards. The character is now flipping around pretty fast and getting to its feet. And also you'll notice that the character's body isn't completely straight in the air when it's twisting, and also it's not twisting quite as fast as it could. So I'm just going to straighten out the chest so that it's a straight line with the rest of the body. And all I did was copy paste the twist active pose and deactivate one and then edit the second one. As you can see, there's one that's not enabled and then one that is enabled. And the character twists around a little bit faster because the character's body is in a straight line. If your body is in a straight line, you will twist faster than if your body is bent. All I'm really doing is trying to edit the character's body so it's going to be straight. And the straighter the body is, you'll notice the more it twists around. Now it's getting pretty close to making a complete full twist. Also, one of the things that's important is getting the character to start entering the twist pose right after its feet leave the ground. If you want to do double flips, one of the things that you need to keep in mind is it's generally best if you can have the character start going into its tuck or pike pose right after its feet leave the ground. It gives you the most time to really use your pose to get the rotation that you want. In this case, we want the character to rotate around on a different axis. Increasing or decreasing the strength of your twisting active pose can change how fast or how slowly the character twists around. And you can also use your jumping active pose to determine how far the character is going to be able to not only flip in the air, but how quickly it will be able to rotate. This is the reason why I wanted us to focus on a nice high back layout without the character pulling its arms in. We want the character to be able to flip over with as much of its body stretched open, first of all, before we can put a twist on it, because your body spins the fastest if it's twisting with the entire body straight. That's the mantra for this video. And if we want the character to spin even faster, we can again copy paste the first twist pose and then drop the other arm down so it's matching the other side. And then just have, as you can see, the character's now going from doing a single full to a 1.5 twisting backflip. And the thing that I find works best for me is that when the character is completely on its side and its chest or back is facing you, that's when you need to do the pose where the arms are going to be by its side or it's going to be crossed over the chest. And the character will accelerate its spin and just get around a little bit more spin. And I'm using very, very basic twisting poses. So as you continue tweaking things around, you should be able to figure out twisting poses that work very, very well for you. And also, the strength of the twisting pose changes how quickly it'll spin. Like if you pull one arm down from the arch pose, if the strength isn't as high, the character won't twist as fast. And again, when you pull the second arm down, or second arm in, the higher the active pose on that is, oftentimes the faster it will spin. It's all a matter of tweaking it to figure out what works for you. And tweaking the landing for a front landing is a little bit different than a backwards landing, because you want the character's feet to be in front of them, and then you want the character's body to open up and then kind of continue rotating up. And if you find that you want the character to stop spinning at a point during the flip, what you can do is put another lock constraint, and then the character will stop spinning, as you're seeing right here. The character's body gets around as far as I want it to, and then it stops spinning. If you want this to look more natural, like if you're doing a full twisting double back, you should start the tucking or piking pose while the character is still finishing the full twist. So that way it looks like the tucking or piking is stopping the rotation. That's the end of the video, and have a good one.